Gill from Motive Leadership, and I want to talk to you this afternoon, the first day of February 2012, about planning. Now, if you are like me, you probably, especially if you've been in the company of some of those great people in the John Maxwell team lately, been trying to plan a year and thinking ahead of what you want to achieve from 2012. You've probably been doing quite a lot of work on that, but is it now relegated to the back of your drawer, or have you started to see some of that come about? If you are anything like me, you may be a list person, and certainly for most of my life I've run by lists, and I've found them very helpful as a memory aid and a reminder. And this is the sort of thing that is on my desk in my handbag every single day. In fact, I've even gone to the trouble of putting something on the list after I've finished it, and just so I can enjoy the satisfaction of ticking it off. But have you ever thought about taking it back a level? Not just what am I going to do today, but what might be relevant for me to do this week, this month, this year, even further with my life. In fact, when I once studied the book by Stephen Covey, the personal development guru, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, it really changed my attitude and approach to this. So, wanting to give you a little bit of an insight into one of the things that I do every Sunday evening on the whole. Now, Stephen Covey talks about having a life which is centered on your core values and principles. And I'd like to show you something that I have picked up from that, which I do from the book, The 7 Habits, every single week. And here is a copy of my week planner. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I've devised a version of this for you to see. So, as you can see, it's fairly structured. I've got a column for each day of the week. But more importantly, in the first instance, I have decided which roles that I hold, and according to each of those roles, I've got certain goals that I need to achieve. So some of the goals attached to each role are numbered. There may be more than one goal for each role that I hold, and those will be numbered. And then into the week, across the board, numbers are in place which refer back to the goal related to that role. Now, I can put some timings in as well. I like the fact it's handwritten. I like the fact that I can fold it up, squash it in a bag, have it with me wherever I go. It's working really well for me, along with all the high-tech stuff we've got these days. But that's my week, and you won't be able to see the detail, but along the bottom on every template that I ever print off is a statement of my life, what my mission is for my life. So that's a reminder for me every week of what is the ultimate overarching goal. But I also have something that I want to achieve that particular week that's in focus, and also what's the focus of each particular day. So if you want to get a copy of that template from me, just email me on jillscott@johnmaxwellgroup.com, and I'll be happy to share that with you. So that's my week planner. It keeps me on track, and it doesn't stop me from using a daily list like that, but it means that that list is informed by a much longer term goal. But 1 week isn't enough. So from that, and this year, I've been using something else, which is a template for a typical week and all the things that I need to remember to consider including in my weekly plan every weekend. So there are things there that might get overlooked, like accounting, which is nobody's favourite activity. There are things in there like following up customers, old leads, planning to put in some marketing, whatever is relevant for you. And all of that is based on a quarterly plan. And that is a way of me ensuring that I take stock at least once a month and once a quarter on the bigger issues which are more strategic. Now this is an area for me that I've had to really learn the hard way, and working out that I need to implement some of my much bigger vision and goals in my life have sometimes fallen flat because the implementation stage was missing. So this has really helped me in my last month to find ways of making sure that I am really remembering why I'm doing the things that I do on a weekly basis and whether or not they're having any impact. You know, all of this though stems from a very useful exercise which came about from a club called the Fruit Tree Business Growth Club. And one of the coaches that came to that session, Colin Towers, he led us through an exercise which got us to think about our perfect life. And this was such a helpful exercise because it helped us to think about not only the wording of a statement for our vision for life, but to just get that down in a format which would be meaningful and appealing and memorable to me. And as somebody who loves cartoons and a little bit of a frustrated artist, I really took to this task, and I'd like to show you my life plan. So here we are. So I'm not going to dwell on the detail, but I just want to give you an idea. It's A1. It's full of little diagrams and images that capture my imagination of where I want things to turn out. Not afraid of saying it, I'm in my mid-40s, and without some sort of a taking stock at this kind of an age, and even younger. I mean, why not every 5 years take stock of what your life is all about and where you want it to go. It may change tack and it may be refined, but that's the only way you'll ever get on course, by having a course and a direction for life. So that's my life plan. Where's the intermediate step between my quarterly strategy then and ultimately the thing that I want people to say about me when I'm dead and gone? Well, here we are. This year I put it into practice. It's rough and ready, stuck up on the wall in my cosy little office, and that's a picture of 2012. It's perfectly amenable to changing, editing and improving all through the year, and although you can see it's roughly quartered, that's not necessarily chronological quarters, although there is a built-in reference there for me to remember to review things strategically every quarter. But also there's 4 elements to a key verse or statement that I have adopted for my life for 2012, stuck there in the middle. It's about the fact that things that have been started in my life are going to be completed. And I'm determined that instead of starting lots of new things, I'm going to get some completion and some finishing done in my life this year. So there's about 4 themes in there which fit nicely into the 4 quarters of my page. Lots of practical things are happening around the edge, more themes around the middle. However you want to draw it, it's very inspiring to have that looking at you every day. So all of these things tacked to my office wall are speaking to me about what's possible, what's happening, what's coming, what reminds me every day of how I get there. And I just encourage you today, don't be overwhelmed by the detail. Don't be overwhelmed by the mountain of the future goal or aspiration that you've got. It may make more than a year to get where you want to be, but you'll be a lot closer to it at the end of 2012 than if you hadn't actually thought that process through of what it will take to get there. And I know that this is going to be a step forward for me in achieving far more than I've ever before in 1 year. I just thank you for the time you've taken today to listen to just some thoughts about one new aspiration for me this year, and for you, you can do it too. Gill Scott, Motive Leadership.